My name is Bethany Markovich. I am the current board president. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. So the East Aurora Cooperative Market is required to hold an annual meeting for its member owners as part of our organization's bylaws. So that is the reason we are here this evening. Just a quick glance there at the agenda. And so we're gonna, sorry. So I just have a quick welcome, cover a few etiquette items. We have an operations report from Jess, brief treasurer's update. Unfortunately, Tom Ruland is not going to be with us this evening, so Tonya Hall will be filling in for us. I will be giving a brief report as well. We have a few notes about our elections that is also a part of this annual meeting. And then at the very end, we will be doing a question and answer session. So before we dive into the presentations we have for you this evening, I just want to take a moment to cover a few brief notes on meeting etiquette. So this meeting is meant to be a forum where we both provide you with information and listen to any comments and questions you may have. So please enter any questions or comments into the chat window at any time during the presentations. Andrew will be moderating our chat window, and we've reserved time at the very end to have a question and answer session. As a courtesy to all of our attendees, do please keep yourself on mute during the presentations. If you are having any technical difficulties at any time, please type a message into the chat, and Joel Brock, our helpful tech support, will be in contact with you and help you try and resolve any issues you might be having. So I want to briefly introduce my fellow board members. So if my board members could just give everyone a quick wave when I call your name, I would appreciate it. So Brian Russ, Dale Morris, Tanya Hall, Leslie Carlson, Mike McLaren, Andrew Layer, and again, Tom could not be with us this evening. This team has dedicated many volunteer hours over the past year to supporting the cooperative market, and I could not be more thankful of their time and commitment to the co-op on top of their already busy careers and family demands. So I know if we were in person, you guys would be getting a round of applause, but please know how much I appreciate your service. So now I'm just going to turn this over to our store's general manager, Jess Armbrust.
Thanks, Bethany. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I am so grateful for your support of the co-op and your interest in the running of the business. We're here to talk about everyone's favorite subject, 2020. We've spent a lot of time reflecting on the last year, and some of this may be familiar as we gave a brief update at last fall's annual meeting. Last year started out normally enough. January and February, we were preparing for a mini member owner drive in March and the New York plastic bag ban that went into effect March 1st. Then the pandemic hit and all that came with it. Just like that, your co-op became an essential business. We had no guidance. There were no rules. We just kept going. Us cooperators and our 4-year-old startup grocery store. No corporate headquarters to look to for guidance, no pandemic playbook, no clear guidelines for remaining open, keeping everyone safe, and providing our essential service, groceries. And what an opportunity it was. Mid-March saw the pandemic panic shopping that you all remember. It was a wild time in the store with 2 weeks of record sales. There were supply chain issues, significant out of stocks. We all remember the toilet paper or lack thereof. Vendors also began limiting their product offerings as they worked to respond to the pandemic conditions and streamline their own operations. We scrambled, got creative, and worked hard to fill the shelves, meeting our increased customer demand. In store, we formed a crisis management team and immediately got to work, plotting out a multitude of scenarios and plans to get through the challenges. From developing policies to keep staff and customers safe, to quickly building an inexpensive, easy to use curbside service, we did it all right there at the co-op with our lean, dedicated team. As Bethany mentioned, one key element in our corner, your co-op's dedicated board of directors. In the early days of the pandemic, this group of volunteer member owners took extra time out of their schedules to have regular weekly meetings, ensuring your co-op was weathering the storm and on track to be stronger than ever. With everything going on around all of us, they showed up, they cared, and they ensured your co-op stayed on track. The events of 2020 caused a big shift in the way people shop your co-op, how the store is staffed, and how it operates. Our curbside service launched in April of last year and has been a great success in allowing everyone access to co-op products. We are grateful for the gratitude expressed by our customers, both in-store and curbside, throughout the pandemic. We recognize that the community has come to depend on the co-op to provide healthy, delicious food options in a safe and friendly environment. We take that charge very seriously and work every day to build on the trust. The pandemic brought with it a change in how people shop grocery stores. The co-op's customer count went down, while the basket size, that's the average size our customer shops, increased. Like everyone, the metrics we use to track success were turned on their heads. We had a plan, our pro forma, but it wasn't built for a global pandemic. Prepared food sales dropped off drastically as we closed our salad and hot bar, and our lunch crowd disappeared into their new home offices. And unfortunately, we saw a significant turnover in staff in the spring of 2020 as team members were forced to make difficult decisions due to the pandemic and its impact on their well-being and personal lives. How do we get through it? We looked to our national network of co-ops for idea sharing and support. We picked up the idea for plexiglass shields from a store in the Southwest. And thanks to our nimble staff, thank you, Gary, we had the shields up within a day. There is no greater test of a team's strength than a global pandemic. Your co-op met the challenges head on and is a stronger community store for it. Our customers tell us regularly how grateful they are, how safe they feel, and how much they appreciate the ease of shopping in your friendly community grocery store. What impact did the changes have on our co-op's financial health? Your co-op continued to achieve positive sales growth. At 12.5%, the co-op sales growth again outperformed projections. Net income measures the income generated by each dollar of sales. What does it tell us? Net income lets us know how much profit the co-op made after paying all of its expenses. As you can see in the chart, your co-op continued to see negative net income for the year. The trend toward profitability continued as we had planned, though our progress slowed slightly. Your co-op's net income reached negative 1.49% for 2020, 0.5% less than the negative 0.99% projected. Due to the delays in store opening, excess construction costs, and undercapitalization, the co-op carries a legacy of high debt. Since 2017, the board and management have worked out painstaking plans and consolidation for our debt repayment plan. Of course, a primary indicator for all businesses is profitability. When will that net income reach a positive number? The co-op has exceeded all projections through the first 4 years, but due to the impacts of 2020, we're revising our expected timeframe for profitability. Here's what we're working with. Retail grocery operates on razor-thin margins. As a result, the impacts of the global pandemic and current economic conditions are significant. Cost of labor has increased as the state and industry move toward a $15 per hour minimum wage. While this is a positive shift, the change is occurring faster than the co-op's earlier business plans projected. Change in sales mix. As discussed earlier, the way people shop your co-op has changed. Sales are up in lower profit margin areas such as meat and down in higher profit prepared foods department. Expenses have increased across the store. Not only have costs gone up for goods we sell, but also for the supplies we use, such as disposable gloves and sanitizing materials. As we work on a mid-year review of the plans we built in late 2020, we're now conservatively projecting achievement of sustained profitability in 2023 or 2024. The greatest challenge with 2020 is the lasting negative impact on 2021 and beyond. As we covered, projection for your co-op to reach positive net income is delayed. We need to rethink how we work, what our expectations are, and how we manage our debt service. These are some of our current realities. Cost of goods and supplies are up. Sales mix and shopping habits have changed. And there are challenges in staffing. There's a national hiring shortage. We've all heard the stories. Lloyd can't run their taco trucks. Paula's Donuts has a now hiring sign on the 190. And Ted's Hot Dogs is forced to close locations temporarily. We do ask for patience, as we may sometimes be out of your favorite muffin or dinner entree while we work to staff up to meet demand. And we are projecting losses for 2021. We are holding our own. Your co-op has a dedicated team working to provide great food and an outstanding customer experience. And we are all in this together. What can you do? Think of your co-op first for your grocery needs. Encourage great folks to apply. We're hiring for many positions, and our primary qualifiers are hardworking, friendly people. We have a range of people whose lifestyles lend themselves to work at the co-op. Students, parents looking for part-time work, retirees, or people looking for a career in grocery. Some positions require specialized experience, and some are completely trainable. If you know someone you think would be a good fit, please send them our way. What else can you do? Talk up your co-op. New folks find our store every day. Help spread the word. Thank you. I am genuinely honored to be doing this work on your behalf. Each day when I walk the floor, I have the opportunity to speak with customers who are grateful that the co-op is here to meet their needs. Many of those customers are brand new. The good news is that the co-op has gained the confidence of our community, and shoppers are still discovering all the good things we have to offer. That's thanks to the hard work of many, including all of you, your vision, investment, and patronage. Thank you for providing this resource for our community. I'd now like to turn it over to Tanya Hall, filling in for our treasurer. Tanya?
Tanya, you're on mute.
On mute.
You're having a great conversation with yourself.
Sorry, I hit the button and I must have not clicked it hard enough. I apologize. I will be going over the member owner investment update. Since long before our store opened, our co-op community has supported our co-op through thick and thin. You may know hundreds of our owners invested the funds to open our store almost 5 years ago and to keep the doors open through unforeseen challenges. Our store that we own together would not be here without all of you. Thankfully, our dedicated management and staff have done a very good job of creating growth and managing our limited resources. Like most businesses worldwide, our co-op has experienced new challenges in light of the pandemic, including a change into our sales mix, as well as hefty COVID-related expenses, as just mentioned. The grocery business operates on tight margins, and the new challenges have delayed the co-op's progress towards profitability, which was initially projected to reach in 2021. Back to those member owner investments. Some of them are structured as loans, which were scheduled to come due in the coming years. At this point, due to covenants with our primary lenders, which are our largest funders to build the co-op, were local and cooperative banks, we are prohibited from repaying any other loans ahead of these primary loans. So as member owner loans mature, we are asking investors to extend their loans or convert them to preferred shares, another investment option offered to our owners. Over the years, our co-op community has consistently banded together in good times and not so good times. And on behalf of our co-op, as a collective, we've been generous, gracious, and patient as we grow. On behalf of our current board, we thank you. We know that this is disappointing news about the loan repayments. It may be difficult for folks in a year that has been hard for all of us. Know that everyone involved is working diligently to steward our store towards a sustainable future. While there is uncertainty, our co-op is on a solid path. That's thanks to the tremendous work of our staff and management, along with the dedication of member owners and shoppers. We look forward confidently to a time when we will be in a financial position to repay those who invested in our community-owned grocery store, despite the risks involved. As your loans come due, you can expect to hear from our board, either by letter, email, or phone, or you can reach out to us in advance to modify your loan. You can feel free to email us. Our email address is directors@eastaurora.coop with any questions or to review any information needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. You have now heard from Jess about what is happening at the store and about the current financial condition of our co-op. I want to take some time to talk specifically about the activity of the board. So I've been with the board of directors now for 3 years, and I took over as board president in January. I originally became a member owner just like you in 2010, and I'm so proud to now be playing a larger part of that idea and driving forward the vision of our founders. I could not be more proud of our co-op team, including our general manager, and the dedication of my fellow board members. So as part of my transition to president, I had several goals for our board. And the first was being that I wanted to improve our board transparency. So in the past, you'd hear from the board once a year at the annual meeting. But to really improve that, we've added a twice annual board newsletter to be released in the early fall and late winter to help keep you apprised of our activity. You know, we want you to understand the decisions and activity behind the scenes and help you know what role the board is playing in the background. So we also want you to know when the board is meeting and provide an opportunity for visitors to speak or ask questions at those meetings. So regular board meetings are open to member owners to attend, and comments are welcome. We only need you to RSVP to let us know you'll be there, and if you would like to speak at open member time. Additionally, we are working very hard to change the direction of our board from an operational board to a strategic board. And let me explain what that means. So when our store first opened, many of the tasks of running the grocery store were performed by members of our board. And that included items like interacting with the landlord, accounting and financial activities, and sometimes even driving changes in store operations. And when the co-op was just starting out, that was really what was needed. We all pitched in to get us through those first startup years. But now our store has grown and matured, and we have a very confident and capable general manager at the helm. And it's time for us for our board to hand over those activities back to the GM. And that will give us some time to focus more on effective oversight of the GM and leading the future direction of the co-op. So what that looks like is we monitor the GM through regular reporting on all aspects of store operations, including treatment of customers, employee satisfaction, budgeting and financial condition. So we're relying on the GM to run our store and keep us informed as necessary. She's the expert in running the grocery business. We are engineers, lawyers, business owners who serve as the voices of the member owners. So this allows us to focus on looking forward. We have put in place a strategic planning committee that is looking ahead to the direction of the co-op and what our store will need to look like as we continue to serve our community. You know, we really need to be investigating what does our community want out of our store. You know, it could be space needs. Do they want interactions like classes or trainings? Maybe they want us to be more conscious of our environmental footprint. So how can the co-op engage with member owners outside of the annual meeting? This is a shift in the right direction for our co-op. In other news, the board continues to engage on behalf of member owners to recoup construction costs and ensure fair treatment and expenses charged to the co-op under our current lease. The court system faced considerable slowdown in 2020, like many things, which accounts for much of the delays we are experiencing, unfortunately. We have successfully argued one of the cases regarding tax payments, and that is now awaiting an appeals court decision. And at this time, the construction case is set to be heard in November. In more exciting news, our store turning 5. It's pretty exciting that we've been open now for 5 years. And this is definitely because of the amazing commitment of our community. And we hope that you will join us in celebrating in early June. So do please watch your inbox for details from Jess regarding anniversary celebrations. So additionally, we have a constant need for people like you to consider joining our board of directors. You don't need a special background or skill set. We'll provide all of the necessary training you would need. Most of us here on the board, we work full time and we have family commitments, but we're here in front of you because we care about the co-op success. And I imagine that you are here tonight because you feel the same way. Maybe you're thinking, what could I possibly offer? I think I definitely thought that. But you could offer your time and your voice as a member of the East Aurora community. Fresh voices and perspectives are necessary to keep our store growing. We're also looking for member owners to serve in at-large roles and serve on board committees. So at-large members help out with specific committees. They attend those committee meetings, but regular board meetings are then optional. So if you have less time or specific interests, or you're not quite sure if you're ready for full board service, this might be a good avenue to start with. So remember, our job on the board here is to represent you, the member owners. We encourage you to speak up and talk to us or join us on the board as part of planning the future direction of our store. I'd like to give a special thanks to any of you in the audience tonight who are former board members or employees. Thank you for your continued participation in the governance of our market by being here. I really appreciate it. So next, I would like to turn it over to board member Brian Russ, who will be briefly introducing the candidates for our board elections.
Good evening. Our board is composed of 9 directors, with each director serving a 3-year term. We have 3 seats that are up for election and a vacant seat that is currently open due to a resignation. We have 3 incumbents who are running for re-election tonight. First is Andrew Lair. Andrew joined the board, the co-op board of directors in 2015. Andrew has been instrumental in opening and the continued success of our store. Andrew brings considerable knowledge from his founding efforts and the momentum of the East Aurora community that was behind the opening of our neighborhood grocery store. Next is Mike McLaren, who joined the co-op board of directors in 2018. Mike is passionate about the East Aurora community as a place to both live and work. He has been diligent about protecting the integrity of the member owners and isn't shy about tackling the larger challenges our store is still facing. Mike also serves on the board of the Buffalo Boys and Girls Club. And our third member is Dale Morris. Dale joined the co-op board of directors in 2018 and has been dedicated to helping plan for the future of the co-op. Dale's patient and thoughtful approach to board work is a testament to his commitment to our board's continued presence in our neighborhood. Dale is also a member of the Town Planning Board. I encourage you to read the candidates' full bios, which can be found on our website or in the mails accompanying the election voting link. Thank you.
All right, and voting will be open tonight until 8 p.m. So if you have not yet done so, please do click on that link. So thank you, Brian. So we've reached the end of our presentations this evening. Again, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to enter those in the chat window. We have time now for a brief question and answer session. So Andrew, were there any questions from the chat?
There have been no questions yet, but I think this is a great opportunity. If any of our attendees wanted to pose a question to the board, we're happy to entertain those this evening.
Okay, so we won't twist anybody's arm to ask questions. But again, we're always open to hear questions and comments at any time. The email is directors@eastaurora.coop. Joel, perhaps you could enter that in the chat. And we really do invite you to ask questions or send us comments at any time. Obviously here we're doing the work on behalf of all member owners. So we want you to be informed and engaged as much as you're interested in doing so. So I guess I will call this meeting to a close then at 7:31. Thank you again for your time. And please reach out to us again, directors@eastaurora.coop. And please enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you in the store. Thank you, Joel.